Hello, this is a brief demo of a hard drive rotary input device project I've been working on. I originally posted a video about a year ago, so I never actually got it working correctly, but finally I got a chance to take a look at it again and able to reproduce some results. Again, here I just have a standard laptop hard drive. Again, the 4 wires hooked up, that is kind of taped over now, but the 4 spindle motor wires, the stepper motors, are plugged in here to an op amp. And I was trying 2 different ones here. My original plan is to hook this up to an Arduino or compatible microcontroller and basically use the hard drive as like a rotary encoder, more or less. Although I did notice some problems, some issues I ran into while trying this. Namely, I wanted to run the op amp off of the 5-volt Arduino power supply, VCC. However, I noticed on the op amp I was using in particular, I'm not sure if it's an issue with the op amp or if it was just something perhaps I was doing wrong, but I noticed the output was not going, it didn't seem to be a rail-to-rail op amp. That is, the output it was providing was not a full 5 volts. While the value it provided was, I think, around 3 and change, it might be enough to trigger the digital inputs on the device. I know it's best to have close to a 5-volt signal, so I was trying to find a way to go around that. I noticed in this particular op amp it was the LM324N. It would output up 5 volts if you supplied a higher VCC, namely around 9, which is not exactly what I was looking for. So I tried another one here, an LM339N, which I got working as well, and this seemed to work better. It was more of a comparator than an actual op amp. In both these circuits here, they have a 1 megohm resistor feedback. The hard drive rotary, or the inputs from the rotary, from the spindle motor, are connected up to individual inputs on the op amp and comparator, and then the common is tied into the inverting inputs on the comparator and op amp. And we can see right here is I have the op amp itself hooked up to some LEDs, so you can see the output here as you swing around the hard drive. You can see the patterns that emerge, whether it's like a chasing either clockwise or counterclockwise motion. So I have both these hooked up here, and what you can see in the scope, if I can make it out correctly, is up here. And you'll notice that right now this is the input without any rotary action, without any rotation. But as soon as you rotate it, you'll see here that the comparator outputs a higher voltage. These are hooked up to the same wire on the, just for comparison purposes. You can see, let me set the triggering here to single. And you can see here that they're given, it's the same signal, but the comparator does a better job rather than the op amp. If I'm understanding it correctly, I believe the op amp does operates more in a linear region than the comparator itself. I would try hooking up the comparator to the LEDs as noticed before, but I think it's a high impedance output, so it's not really enough to drive the LEDs. But this is progress I'm making. Next part I plan on doing is hooking up to our Arduino and writing some simple code to do LED chasing or something to that effect. Thanks for watching.